Hello everybody! Today we're going to open up this big, beautiful box. It says fragile on it. Now if you read the description, you probably already have a clue what it is. But I'll tell you it's silver and blue. And before we begin, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like it.
And now we present to you, can you guess what's in this box? You probably already read what it will be, so please just humor us and act surprised for me.
Alright, so now we're going to go and open this thing up very carefully. We're going to start by cutting down here and being a little careful because it's fragile. Oh, they had to double box it, of course. Oh man, this is like Christmas all over again. I'm going to have to pull this thing out of here. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to cut this in here like this. But it's good that they double box this because it just makes it extra durable so that it won't get damaged when it's being shipped. Oh, now isn't this beautiful? Just this picture. Oh man, look at this. They give you a little beer holder or pop holder. That's pretty cool.
It's called beer cozy.
Beer cozy. I was told this is a beer or pop cozy. I don't know these words. I know music, I don't know these words. This is actually printed on some durable paper right over here. It's real nice because you're not going to, it's not going to get wrinkled very easily, and I mean, everyone should know how to kind of use this thing if you got one, but it's still very nice to have it on durable paper like this. It's almost like cardstock, I'd say. So this is what it is. If you didn't read the description and you didn't get the clue, it is Audioscape's version of the 1176 Revision A, which was used on countless recordings and eventually became unavailable for almost ever. So we're going to pull this out. I'm already hitting buttons. So toss that down there. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to get this packaging off of here. We got XLR in and out for balanced. That was a razor blade. Alright, so you got your ratio with a 4, an 8, a 12, and a 20. Or you could do the all buttons mode in. Trying to figure out how to do that. Almost got it. There we go. All buttons in, which you're not supposed to do, but someone did do it. And it made an awesome drum sound. You got your off. You got your gain reduction mode for the meter, +8 and +4. And your input and your output. And your tack and your release. So I'm going to get this set up and try this thing out.
For the bass, we are starting with a fast attack and fast release. This will squash the bass transients while making it very aggressive sounding. Some noise is being induced with this ingression, which is adding character to the sound. Now we can compare this to the in-process signal. Now we will back off the attack, making it slower. Smaller numbers on the 1176 are slower, which makes you have to think about it. Does 7 mean more speed or more slow?
Typically, the numbers mean length, but on these compressors, the higher number means more speed. The noise is gone, but we still have some of the aggression while maintaining the dynamics of the initial attack on the notes. Now we can compare this to the unprocessed signal. Now we will back off the release, making it slower. The bass now sounds a little smoother and pillowy as the compressor is holding onto the notes, pinching the sound. This is less aggression and less in your face than before. Now we can compare this to the unprocessed signal. Now we will increase the attack. The compressor is really clamping down on the signal from beginning to end and is squashing the life out of it, getting rid of all the feeling. What you're left with is a wall of sound. Now we can compare this to the unprocessed signal. We are starting with the slow attack and a medium fast release. What is happening here is the initial drum hits are still being passed through, but we're getting more of the tail out of the signal. This allows us to thicken up the drums a bit and get more of that room sound. Now we can compare this to the unprocessed signal. We will now increase the release to be faster, which will add even more room to the sound. Because the snare has a little ring to it, the ring is being emphasized even more. We can now compare this to the unprocessed signal. Now we will dial up the attack, making it faster, which may not come through as an audible difference, but it will weaken the punch of the attack. I don't feel this is affecting the snare as much, but the bass drum has become more pillowy and lighter on the touch. We can now compare this to the unprocessed signal. Now we can dial back the release, making it slower. This will hold onto the tails of the signal. The drums are now pumping, but has much of the energy taken out of its performance. We can now compare this to the unprocessed signal. We can make the attack slower again. Much of the energy returns while maintaining the pumping. We can now compare this to the unprocessed signal. I was so excited to try these things out. I had these things sitting here for a couple days after they arrived, and I just was so busy I couldn't get to it. finally today got to open them up. I wasn't able to try out every single application, just was not ready for that. But I did have a couple things in mind that I wanted to try out, and that's what I did. So we did some drum buses, and I also tried out a few other things. But what I could see was that these things definitely add energy to the mix. You can check out the before and the after waveform, and you can actually see that after it's processed that the initial attacks are actually louder. And it must be something that might be part of it, because you can actually feel the music more. But one other thing that I noticed too was that even if you were able to match the energy level, these things do something that you can't get, and that's it gels everything together. It makes everything less cluttered. Matching the energy level from before and after, you do the A and B, and you just hear that these sound actually more natural, and just, I don't want to say cleaner, because they're not, they add stuff to it too, but it just sounds better. And there has to be a reason why people are still buying analog gear. It's not just a novelty, it does sound better. Many other things that I would like to try out. I would love to try these out and compare them to an original. Also, I like to compare them to Stam Audio's version, which they no longer make anymore. They've replaced it with like a 3-in-1 and has a different ratio. But I'd also like to compare it to Hairball's too, because they also have a version as well. I would like to go get a friend over here and do some drum tracks and try the all button mode on for like when the levee breaks, since that's the kind of gimmick thing that these do that everyone seems to talk about, but it really only has like a couple applications. But just for fun, just to kind of learn how to do it, and see if you can actually match what happened in the recording. I mean, these things weren't designed to have all buttons pushed in, but some engineer was thinking, oh, maybe I'll try to break this thing, and pushed them all in, and somehow it worked. So, and last but not least, I mean, I would love to try tracking on them, which is probably the biggest reason why I got these, is so that you could run vocals into them, run acoustic guitar into them, and just get your levels printed the way that you want to, instead of like having to fool with it later. I mean, that's how everything was recorded, was you'd print what you wanted to. You wouldn't try to fix it later. You make decisions up first. And of course, it's not for everything to compress it, and you don't want to over compress it, but it's just, that's kind of the goal here. One other thing I'd like to mention is that I'm completely stoked about this. I mean, I was not expecting this. This is like getting a gift, and I got 2 of these now. It's one thing to, make a quality piece of gear and have great communication and get the product to you fast and everything else, but then to open up the box and finally you got something extra in there, and I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. The bar is now raised for everybody else. I know that any other piece of gear I get, I'm probably not going to get something like this. I would love to though, but I'm probably not. But I'm sure that this will probably now be in almost every single video, because I'll be using this thing just like I am right now. So I'm stoked about that. I just can't stop talking about it. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe, because you never know what my next video will be. And leave some questions and comments below, and I'll see you there. Alright, so now we're going to go and open this thing up very carefully. Or not. I don't know. I'll just keep going.